Our survival once depended on an intimate bond with the places we lived. This bond was sealed by a spiritual connection to the animals, forests, mountains, the sea, and other elements of the natural world. Everything is one. Maintaining this connection was vital to the health of the community and the well-being of each individual. With the strong determination of our ancestors and the collective will of the people, we have regained control of our way of life, of our land, and of our destiny. On this day of great celebration, we, the members of the Maa-nulth Treaty, welcome you. Our journey to this day has been long and difficult, and it began with the shared vision of our early leaders.
This treaty stuff is so complex and so intense. There is no one person that can do it, and the best thing you can do is have a good team. Every human being has an opinion that's worth something. You may think sometimes that you've got all the ideas, and you'll go somewhere and you'll start talking to them and they bring out a new idea and you'll say, yeah, that's a great idea. And so, in my opinion, the more these great ideas that we can get out on the table, the better chance our people have of success.
I don't know how long we'll be waiting for another man like him, but at the same time, we learned a lot from Toquaht.
We want to thank you, Diska. Your nation blazed a trail for many of us to follow.
As you move to get rid of the Department of Indian Affairs in your lives, you will replace those with your own constitutions. It's the people's own voice saying, this is who we are.
The treaty enables us to practice what we've done in the past, but at the same time, it becomes a vehicle that we take and we grasp those opportunities that may arise out of treaty.
We want the government to realize that we did have a government. Our government had everything. They had people that was looking after our resources. It's important that you get to know part of the history that we have, the laws that we did have. And everything was broken by the white man. Everything.
The model that the federal government is proposing right now is not acceptable. And it will not be accepted until Maa-nulth is satisfied that at the end of the day, the financial arrangements they've got with governments are going to make them better off than they are now.
Thanks to Gary Yerpsley, that really deserves a great big feather on his head. I think I'm going to look for a big eagle.
You've had 150 years of conflict, and you've had 150 years in which First Nations have in fact lost out in the conflict. So the white man's taking the land, the white man's taking the trees, the white man's taking the minerals, the white man's taking the water, the white man's imposing white man's government. And the question then is, what instruments have you got to fight against that?
We think that it's kind of a make or break year, either by the end of this fiscal year.
Given that we're so close, I think it certainly encourages us to get on and try to do the final negotiations.
We got to negotiate with these guys, and I don't want them convincing you that we've got a good deal when we don't have a good deal at this point.
If you can't see that your great-great-grandchildren are going to have a better opportunity than they do now, under the current system, then no, you'd be crazy to do the treaty. And I can't answer that. I mean, I think in my own mind, but I'm a white guy. I'm going to go back to Victoria at the end of the treaty and do something else. You're going to live with the treaty every day.
We have a chance here to show the rest of the world what the potential for our people, and that potential is limitless.
We're going to be able to train our people to work in our band offices and to govern ourselves.
Hopefully in 10 years down the road we'll have a lot more businesses for our members to be employed.
It's essential for each of our nations to create a work plan on an annual basis. The Maa-nulth Nations fish is a very important part of our diet and our culture.
I see people coming together for meetings, coming together for things with our tribe, going to school, they're working with the community.
To know that we can govern our own land, and I actually can't wait.
Be uplifting, because we will be managed ourselves as a nation. We haven't practiced our beliefs the way our ancestors have done it.
I just can't wait for the day to have the final agreement signed and celebrate for the rest of my life for what we deserve.
Okay, so we have to tally them all up. 49 yes. All right.
We did it.
We're on the threshold of turning things over to our youth. It might not happen while we're here. There might not be a change right away, because it's going to take a while to get to that place where you're going to stand up and say, I need to do this for my people.
6 generations it's taken us to get to where we are today, and we are on the brink of a new life for all of you. And we're going to be depending on you to seize the opportunities that are going to be in the treaty for you.
It's a great day today. It's great for the Maa-nulth, it's great for British Columbia, and it's great for Canada. And I want to say congratulations to all of you for the strength of your vision when you voted to ratify this treaty.
You are now the captain of a canoe.
We want to see more of our people earning a meaningful income within their homeland. Today we hope those things can become a reality.
Today, we stand by a canoe, we stand with our paddles ready to paddle together.
We got to get back to our original stories so that we can build a new memory in the minds of our children.
We know the road ahead will be rough, but we will overcome, because we do not have a dream. We have woken up. We are awake, and we have a vision to bring our treaty to life.
It has been, for me, a fantastic experience, and it's been one of the most worthwhile things I think I've probably ever done.
We have to start with us to see how healthy we can get, so we can walk that road that our ancestors walked.
I don't think anybody's really told Peter what his name means in Uchucklesaht. I don't know a lot of Uchucklesaht, but the little I know, I'm not sure I'd be getting up here boasting about what loosely translated is bald white guy.
I applaud your courage and your initiative, your foresight, and your just general ability to go forward with an agreement that was not only incredibly complex, but at times I'm sure you took a lot of heat in your communities for the decision to move forward with this treaty.
I told one of the negotiators, in my next life I'm going to be a negotiator. And he answered back and he said, in my next life I'm going to be a chief.
Thank you, and I raise my hands to you. Thank you so much.
We're getting on with it.
We're building this new relationship together. We're getting in the canoe together. We're paddling in the same direction. It has taken a long time. I think we've learned how powerful we are when we're all together, working together, making this a reality.
Effect to the Maa-nulth First Nations final agreement
provides an opportunity for each First Nation to include traditional chiefs in their government structures if they so choose.
And what we need to do is get out of the way and provide the mechanisms through treaties for that right to self-determination. That economic benefits will not only accrue to the First Nations in their traditional territories, but it will also accrue to their neighbors.
I'm just amazed at the patience that our First Nations people have in this country.
Our government structure was developed from the bottom up as opposed from the top down, because we want our people to be involved.
Building a foundation for our children is where I believe that education begins.
We have ancestors that have lived away for some of them maybe 30, 50 years, and our elders have never forgotten them, that they're out there, and they were very touched, that we wanted to include them in our negotiations, in our ratification, and so that's the Ucluelet stand, is that we do not look at off and on reserve.
I have to tell Chief Mundy that I've been here for 4 years, and I'll have to admit now to Senator St. Germain, you brought me to tears. It was amazing. Thank you, Senator Campbell, and all the senators that are here, and thank you again, Chiefs, in this historic day.
We now have the power and responsibility to control our land and to drive our own destiny once again. We will seek the wisdom and knowledge of our elders and look upon our children to give us the desire to succeed.
I see healthy communities, I see economically independent communities, I see culturally strong communities, and I see proud Indian people in a modern world.